Anyways, I'd like to welcome you guys back to the LFGG podcast, episode 5. We don't have Easy here tonight. He had to bail last minute, but luckily I'm not too nervous because I've hung out with Waylor before. But anyways, Waylor, thanks for coming on the show. And Tony Parmesan, I'd like to basically the first question is how'd you get into WoW?
So I played WoW since I was like probably 7, and like for the first like 10 years, no, first like 6 years of my WoW career, all I did was ride on my brother's mount on his character and
Hell
just
yeah.
run in circles. Yeah, and then it was like I remember in Wrath of the Lich King, I leveled my first like actual character, and it was a DK and I leveled that to 80, and I started doing like PVE and stuff, and I was like, wow, this is actually kind of cool. And then after that, like in Cataclysms, when I actually picked up Arena, like in the beginning of Cataclysm, and I remember how hype I was getting like 1600.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, same vibe. I was just like one expansion earlier. Like I started in BC, and then I was like so horrible, and then I got into Arena and Wrath, and then like when I got 1800 on my Paladin to get the weapon in Relentless season, I was like, I'm so fucking sick. Like like all my friends at school were like, "Are you serious, dude? You got the tier 1 weapon?" I'm like rolling around, but
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I just like I know that there's like gated gear now behind rating again, but I don't feel like it's the same. Like I wish we had like a tier 2 weapon still at like 2200 or
yeah.
something like that. I don't know. I feel like it's something to push like like another like like goal to attain or something like that. What did
Yeah.
you what did you start playing? Like what was your first arena character?
So for like the longest time, my first Arena character was a Rep Paladin, and I even played like on private servers, and like I would play only Rep Paladin, and then I started multi-classing,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, it just went from there. I started playing like every class.
Dude, yeah, I started my first ever max level character was my rogue, and then I swapped to paladin because I want like I was just feeling the Arthas vibes in Wrath, and I was just like I wanted Shadow more, and I didn't get it because I was like I re-rolled in ICC, and my guild's like, yeah, we're not giving it to you. You're like our worst paladin. So I was like, all right, whatever. But
It
um,
was so fun.
yeah, I just like miss. Maybe it's just because we were younger playing, but like I feel like those that style of how to level and how to gear and stuff like that. I feel like that was so much better. Like
It was definitely like simplistic, I'd say.
yeah,
It
but
was like it was simple, but like you didn't have to go too hard into it, but it was still good, right?
yeah. How did you feel about like BFA as far as the expansion as a whole, not just season 4?
Uh,
Like
how much time do you have?
yeah,
Fuck. I really enjoyed season 1 of BFA because like it was like a fast meta at like the first half, but then once they made like the changes, there was like a patch like in between it
yeah,
that
and they
like
like ruined
ruined this.
MMR, right?
Yeah,
Like if you're rank 1 before that patch, you couldn't get it after or something like chat's
yeah.
popping off right now. It's hilarious. But yeah, I don't know. Like I thought season 1 was really cool, especially RBGs because everyone was playing. I don't know if you did that, but I was like super
Mm,
stoked on the RBG scene in
I
season
got
1.
1800 in RBGs actually.
Hell
That
yeah.
was like the peak for the
How
set.
yeah, how did you feel like as a like did you like corruption as an idea? Like I know it turned out horrible and the season was way too long and like you got 3250 and didn't get rank 1. Like that's obviously a horrible feeling, right? Like any other season you'd literally be like number 1 in the world, but
So
like
my thing is like if they just would like balance it, it would have been so good. I think. Like the problem, they started this problem since they nerfed like gushing wounds and stuff, and like you remember like they introduced gushing wounds first, and then they nerfed it by like a lot, and then
35%, yeah.
yeah, and then they released the verse amps right after, so everybody was extremely tanky. So then they had to nerf the verse amps,
Yeah.
and it was like just a cycle of like them ruining their own game, you know?
Well, it's like, and then they had the conflict. Like, I don't know if you saw that Venruki video where he got kidneyed and he got hit for like a 2K bike or something like that because he had like
Yeah, yeah.
200% verse or something like that. And then
I remember.
they had to buff or they had to nerf how much mana like Chaos Bolt cost because Warlocks couldn't regen mana fast enough because they were casting so quickly. Like,
Yeah, I didn't like that at
that's just
all.
like ridiculously like such a the foresight that they didn't have is like, you know, like they just broke their own game. I when they announced corruption, I honestly didn't even think it was going to work in PvP, like really. And then I went into an arena and got like soloed by a Tendi before you could target them.
Or when Priest could like shield them.
Yeah, you could shield them, yeah, and then nothing you could do. Yeah, or you like rogues would smoke bomb them and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh
um
my.
yeah, how are you feeling about like Shadowlands, the whole launch? Like, are you having a good time? Is there like, I felt like the quest line was like extremely long, and the shit you had to do after you hit 60 was like really long and made me kind of scared to play alts.
Yeah, I actually felt the same way that it was like it felt like a lot for the first character,
Hmm.
but then like right now I'm actually in the process of leveling my second character, and like you just get to skip all that like
Are you doing the
after
threads, like the alternative
yeah,
leveling?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing too. Um,
It was like I mean I'm okay with it being like one character, but if
mhm.
you have to do it on every single character like you did in BFA, then there's no point in playing multiple.
Yeah, I'm scared for like Torghast, like legendaries, and being behind on like the Soul Ash and stuff like that for crafting. And then I don't know. I don't really understand how like the callings work and the renown, like all that shit. Like I feel like no, like I don't. I didn't play enough beta to like. I selected on beta to do twos or threes. Like I didn't learn about any of that stuff. But are you like nervous for how the meta is going to be? Because I've queued BGs and skirms and like everyone's one shotting everyone. It's like other than marksman shot, our marksman is one shotting everyone like all the time. So
Yeah, there's a lot of things right now that need to be tuned. Like Marksman Hunter. My friend like just one shot me the other day in skirms as a Marksman Hunter. He opened on me from stealth through the pillar and just like used two aim shots, and you can't see him until they hit. So
yeah,
like by the time the second aim shot's hit, I'm already 10% health, right?
it's like that's the Kyrian one, right? Where they can hit through line of sight.
I think so, yeah.
That's like I don't understand. That's so I don't understand why they'd put that in the game.
I mean, and like I'm one that's like for marksman being good because like I think it's good for the game because marksman hunter used to counter like uh caster cleaves and stuff, like
Yeah,
but
and like Thug's like a lot of fun to play. So
thug jungle.
are you how are you feeling about like the have you looked into like how you actually gear? Like are you a guy who likes to not as far as BFA went with like having to gear through only PvE, but do you like the idea of having to dabble into both sides of the content like to be the
Yeah,
best?
yeah. Like I'm very neutral on that. Like I feel like doing a little of everything's okay, but like if like people for example are doing like what is it 8 or 9 mythic zeros for the first week.
Yeah.
Like like why? Like just so you can be like 1% better for like a week or two.
Yeah.
Like it's very. It just feels like you don't need to do that.
I mean, there's nothing that like is weird because it took like I did 50 to 60 in one sitting. Like when I like luckily I didn't have I was on not a dead server, but I could get in right away and I could level. And
Yeah,
I felt like there was so much going on. And then once I got like my callings done, once I got through like to renown 3, I felt like there's actually like not much to do outside of Torghast. So I could understand people just like either spamming BGs or spamming Mythic Zeros to get them all done. But like, I don't know. I feel like the PvP gear, for the most part, for Rogue at least, there's like options for either verse crit or sorry, verse mastery and then verse haste. So I feel like I'm hoping that you can just PvP to arena. Like, that would be the
yeah.
dream for me.
I mean, yeah. Like I don't mind farming like 1 or 2 pieces from like dungeons,
Yeah, a
but like
trinket or something like that.
yeah.
Are you maining Alliance or Horde?
Right now Alliance. Yeah, a lot of people want ally, so I was like, you know what, this is my time.
Yeah. Do you think the nerf to the PVE trinkets is like making people kind of regret going alliance or going human mainly, or like because they nerfed some of them by like 40-60%, which they obviously needed those nerfs, but like are you gonna wear a trinket? Are you gonna wear a rally? Like, or are you just gonna go double PVE trinket? If are you even
Uh,
human? I assume you're human.
yeah, I'm human on my priest. I just like I feel like human relent is so good.
Mm-hmm.
And like and the thing is like a lot of people just sleep on it on NA. I feel like if you look at Europe, like they all play like alliance and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But NA is like the only uh I guess what's the word region that like only plays horde like every expansion. It's kind of weird.
I think it's
In
like
my
lots of it's like PVE influenced. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
all the top PVE guilds are horde. So if you're looking for people to play with, like what are you supposed to do? Like I mean, I remember even when I was like, 2700 on alliance, I couldn't. I only had two people to queue with. Period. Like I didn't
Yeah.
don't know the rank ones. I don't like everyone is 2K and LFG. Like I don't know. I don't know how they fix that.
I had the same experience, man. I because I played ally for like a while between like season 2 and 3 on
Mm-hmm.
my priest, and I only played with one team, right?
Yeah.
And we played very rarely. So like in my downtime, like if I had alts on ally, I would look in LFG. There's literally nobody from 2200 to like 2800. It's either the very lowest or the very highest players, which is just awful.
Yeah. I don't know how they fix that. It takes like I think it takes literally years and expansions to revert back to like a 50-50 balance because you like
Hmm.
you go look at Horde LFG and you might not be able to find a group that's like if you're trying to queue 2600 plus LFG you might not find a team, but you look and there's like literally 80 teams looking for someone. Like I don't know how
Yeah.
you fix that. I don't know. I don't.
Well, it is like you said, how the PV guilds have like a huge influence.
Yeah. Well, we saw like I was looking up and they one Horde guild actually like Exorcist, the
Hmm.
Russian guild, they actually went back alliance for Shadowlands. So I'm hoping that's like maybe like realistically the ratios are better for rating and PvP. They're just the Horde ratios are better for Mythic Plus, I think, for Blood Elf. So I don't know.
I'm not too sure about the racials in like raid environment. I felt like troll racial would have been really good in raid. I
Yeah, with
thought,
the haste, yeah.
but I'm not sure. Yeah, but it is literally it just comes down to like the mass player base just like changing based on like what everyone else is doing.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? What do you think about like what's going to be the meta in the first? I think a bunch of stuff's going to get nerfed insane, obviously. Like after the first week of Mythic rating or first week of Arena. But what do you think like the meta is going to look like at the end of season one? If you could,
For comp wise or just
yeah,
like
for comp wise and like usually melee cleaves take over in the first season, but
yeah, I really do think KFC, if it stays exactly the way it is right now, the top comps would be like KFC, RPS.
yeah,
I know ferals are a jungle would actually be insane right now because ferals are extremely broken.
Cupid
Um,
might be insane as well.
Cupid as well. Yeah, I think rep alleys need to get nerfed, man. Like they just need to like. There's so many videos from like Savix and other rep paladins
It's
that
like
just
one shotting people.
yeah, but like they all talk about how like they just need to rework the class and like it's the same with other classes like sub rogue. Like everybody complains about sub rogues, but like they need to rework the class. They can't balance it by giving it too much CC or too much damage.
Well,
Either way,
right now sub is all the CC and all the damage.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And like it's gonna get nerfed because I don't think it's fun for anyone when sub can play like that. Like it does more damage than assassination did, and it has like infinitely more CC. Like and that's coming from a rogue. Like it's not sweet at all.
hmm
Like honestly,
yeah.
what comp are you gonna like thinking about playing?
Um, I mean mostly RMP. That's just like most of the people that I have on my B tag just play Mage Rogue or like Rogue Shadow Priest or something like that. But if jungle or like Thug Cleave is actually good, then I'll play that as well.
Are you gonna play with the young mini wheats or what?
Of course,
The
man.
boy.
I can't leave my boy in the dust.
Man, I don't know. We have this running meme, but he he left me in the dust in season
Yeah,
1.
he ditched you, man. What was
Yeah,
that?
I gave him the screenshots and everything.
What was that all about?
I don't know. He's like, man, you're my boy. We're gonna queue nothing feathers for like a month, and then he's like, oh, I quit. Sorry. Did you end up getting glad? I was like, thanks,
Yeah,
appreciate it.
that's the classic mini chef right there.
Yeah, he's a beauty though. Minnie voted for Trump.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's a running gag we have in our friend group too. Is that exact joke? But
That's
yeah,
hilarious.
I remember me, you, and him played though. I think
Yeah,
last season.
we played a bit early in the season, like
Yeah,
before anything was like before the vendors or anything like that, and I had like horrible gear and didn't I don't even think I had dress, and Minnie kept asking you to go paladin. He's like, just go paladin, please go paladin.
yeah. See, like the hardest thing for me is like I have like recently this started like after the season ended, like where I have like a lot of like concentration issues, like when I'm trying to like focus in
Mm-hmm.
game. And like when I play paladin, I because it's like very simple what you have to do, like I genuinely cannot focus. Like I'll just tunnel my frames and I won't look at what's going on. Whereas like if I'm playing my priest, like all right, like I actually have to be aware of like what's going on, and like I need to do stuff exactly at the right moment, otherwise like I just lose and get called bad,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, obviously, yeah. Well, I mean, how do you feel disc is right now? Like as overall as the main priest healing spec, do you think it's gonna stay that way, or do you think like how strong is disc overall? Do you think?
Compared to like
I mean,
holy priest in
compared
general.
like I don't know. In BGs, like holy priests are like literally like healing themselves to full in one instant cast over and over and
Yeah.
over again, which is weird. But like holy priest is usually not very good in threes. But how do you feel? Like where do you think priest is healing wise on the healer depth chart? I guess.
So a lot of people are saying like druid and shaman are S tier.
Mm-hmm.
And like with druid, that means like the top druids, not like just every druid is going to be
Yeah.
insane, right? It's like actually a hard class to
Yeah,
beat.
that's what Metaphors was saying. He's going druid first, but like Metaphors on a druid isn't the same as even a 2600 druid. You know what I mean? Like you have to be so good at druid. But
Yeah, and like the thing is, druids are very like you know when a druid is good because they won't let you play the game, right?
yeah, it's
That's
horrible.
that's like the most annoying thing. But like so druid and shaman would be S tier, and then people were saying priest is like the tier next, you know.
Yeah, like A
And
tier.
yeah, and then like holy pallier would be next, and then mistweaver. But like I feel like with disc priest, it just depends like how good rogues are, because like sub rogues, like if a sub rogue's good, then I really don't have to do anything as a priest.
That's true.
It really
Yeah,
just comes down to that.
I always find that. I mean, I guess as sub it's different than with assassination, but I've always felt
Mhm.
like in mage like RMX or RMP especially, it's like the mage carries. You know what I mean? Like if he gets his polys, if he gets his CCO, like there's like the like as an assassination rogue, all I have to do is kidney on cooldown. Like I know it's a meme, but like that's literally all you have to do. And like I don't
See,
know.
he's
Go
the
on.
thing is though, I've like thought about this a lot. Is like the mage will control like how the goes are, like you know
Mm-hmm.
you do your go and then they do their go, but the rogue is the one that decides the pace of the game, I think, because like if the rogue isn't playing as fast as he can, then your team, like if your rogue's just running around like he doesn't really know what to do, or like he doesn't have a clear idea of like what he wants to get done in the game, you guys will just you guys will just kind of like wander around, whereas like a more clear rogue will like finish the game quickly, you know.
Yeah,
And
he's
the mage
calling
will
cooldowns and stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So
Well,
like rogue is just that dominant class that you have to like you kind of have to take charge and like be the team leader.
how what covenant did you pick, and um is it up for debate, or is there just like one covenant that you have to play?
It's pretty much for priest. It's pretty much one. It's Venthyr.
Yeah.
I've been asking Meh a lot, like what he Like if even about like human, I asked him like is night elf any good, because I would love to play night elf priest again, and like you know you have to play human rally and like and Venthyr. There's just
No way around
it's
it.
not as good. Yeah, it's not as good, right?
Do you think it's so good? Like Kyrian is, I think, is broken for rogue. Like the combo, like the 7 combo point eviscerate with symbols, and like you're literally hitting like 12k eviscerates in BGs. I think it's gonna get nerfed insane. Like, are you worried that Venthyr could get nerfed like that, or do you think it's like not that game breaking?
I mean, they already did nerf mind games, right?
Yeah,
On the beta. So like I don't see a world where they could like nerf it so that it's to the point that it's not playable anymore.
yeah, true.
I
I
feel
guess.
like
Would you think if they nerfed it even harder, would you like? Do you like the other abilities and Ventyr's just OP, or are the other ones trash? Like I don't really know how the priest ones work.
I haven't really looked at like the other covenants for priest, just Ventir.
Mm-hmm.
But like if I had to choose a covenant just based on like aesthetic, I would have picked Kyrian, right?
Yeah, true for priest.
Yeah, just for priest, like to have like those wings and stuff. But like
You said you're leveling an alt. Was that your rogue that I saw you on? Is that what you're doing?
yeah, Zetox.
Really?
I'm bringing out the rogue, man. The people wanted it, so I had
The people wanted it. The
yeah.
people's champ. All right, all right. Are you
Yeah.
playing it just because it's fodom, or are you playing it because, you're a
No.
rogue boy?
So like everybody has been saying that like this expansion is going to be alt friendly. So I was like, and like I've always been the type to multi-class. Like I hate playing one character,
Yeah.
and it was pretty like even in BFA I multi-class. I played like 8 characters, and they were very mediocre, I'll admit. But like I still enjoy playing multiple, and just like the fact that I'll be able to like play like 2 priests and like a paladin, a rogue, a shaman, and then like any other class that I want to try, like that just seems very fun to me.
Yeah,
It's
I like playing the idea of like playing multiple things. I mean, I'm leveling. I have a horde and alliance rogue for the first time ever, and I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest, because I don't like to play the game that way where you have 2 of the same class max. Like I feel like it's a waste of time. But this stream is like heavily based around doing 2s
yeah,
with viewers, so I need to be able to play both, especially because on Alliance like I get like 3 people signing up, so
yeah.
it's rattling. But I guess kind of switching gears here, like this is a like a learning stream, I guess. Like we get lots of people there like 14, 16, 18, 2.1 in 2s, and what would you like for someone who's either returning to the game, who hasn't played in a while, or is new to the game? Like what kind of advice would you give someone?
So for learning arena, like the biggest thing for learning arena is just game knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you know every, like you just need to open your spell book, read what every spell does, read the passives, read what your talents do, and you basically will like see like just from your own judgment like what's good and what's not. And if not, you just look at like what other high rated players are doing. That's basically what I do. Like even like for me personally, I played private server for like 10 years, and like it was a kata private server, and like you had the old talent trees, like the big ones with like 40 points in them.
Mm-hmm.
And like whenever I wanted to pick up a class, I would actually like I would go read every single talent in the spec, and I would like memorize that, and I would just like I would see like what everything does, and it was a lot of like it felt like studying, but like it was actually
But
fun.
if you want to be good, like you gotta.
Yeah,
And like honestly, Metaphor said the exact same thing. He's like, before you step into an arena, literally log on every class and read every single ability, no matter what. Like every
yeah,
spec, it doesn't matter. Like you can't compete with someone who's played the game for 15 years if you don't know. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. Because like I've played with people who if it's like even last season, like I've played with people who will see something and they won't know what it is when
or
it's
like
like
why it
something.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah, like even something like a spell that like maybe it's a class that not many people play, but like I'll know what it is, and then other people just won't, and that's just like the difference.
Yeah, I also I mean, I know Ferrex takes a lot of heat, but he was on the show and he said, "Hey man, I started playing the game in Legion." And for him to start in Legion and to achieve rank 1, even in BFA season 4 as Mage Lock, like I think that's massive, like massive props. Like I don't have a rank 1 and I've been playing the game for 14 years, like and his advice was literally, dude, I queued 15,000 games in season 3 in threes because I didn't know how to play the game.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think there's anything
especially
wrong with that. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand why he's just trying to learn. Like
yeah, I mean, to be fair, like since I watched that episode with Ferrex, I had like a whole new perspective on him, and I have respect for him because like he does take a lot from other players, even people that don't know him.
mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, like I was one of them. Just like based off my assumption, I never talked to him, but just because I face him and he's playing Mage Lock, I'm like, oh, like I hate this guy. But
Yeah,
like
like BFA
after watching
baby.
yeah, but like watching that episode and just hearing him like, like be very humble about it, like I can't do anything but respect him at that point.
Yeah, I'd never spoken to him before we did the interview, and
Yeah,
everything I heard was, Mage Lock carried whatever, and then he comes on, he owned it right away. He's like, man, you know, everyone else
yeah,
at the highest level had the exact same haste and the exact same, like it's all the like when you're playing at the level that you guys play at, it's still an even playing field. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like it comes down to comp, like, and unfortunately, Mage Lock was disgustingly broken with haste and the way it was. But I mean, what are you supposed to do, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, the thing, like, especially the last season, for me personally, like every time I would queue, it's just ping pong with like what team we get. It would be like, all right, if we're playing Mage Rogue, we want to fight Mage Lock, right?
yeah,
But then we fight melee cleaves, so then we tank, and then the melee cleaves want to fight us, but then they queue into Mage Lock, which counters them, so then they tank, and it's just like
yeah.
a cycle
You
of
guys are just bouncing back and forth. Yeah.
yeah. It's very comp. It was very comp based at least.
Did you
I,
enjoy playing season 4? I mean, like obviously your highest rating that I assume it's the highest rating you've ever been, right?
yeah,
3250 or and
yeah.
like that's cool. Like that's but like did you actually enjoy the games?
So like in the very beginning of the season, when I was playing just like laid back, I would play with like Explicit and Taliban's, and we had like a lot of fun just playing like casually. We would still play at like a high level,
Mhm.
but it would just be like it'd be very rare that we'd queue, but we'd have fun, just chill, no voice. But like once I started like seeing that everyone, I was at like 2,700, and I was like rank 140 on the ladder,
Yeah.
and this was like 6 months before the season ended. And then I remember seeing people that were like at the same time that I was 2,700, they were like 2,200, and I saw them like pass me. They were like 2,800. I was like, holy crap! Like I need to like start playing because my problem was that I didn't play with anyone except like one team.
Mhm.
So like I kind of ruined it for myself because I didn't if my team can't play, then I had no one to play with. So that was like a huge issue for me. And then also just like the fact that everybody else was climbing rating while I was staying the same, it really like brought out the insecurities in me.
Yeah.
That was like a huge thing,
No.
especially like some of my friends were like teasing me about it because there was like other priests that were climbing rating like extremely fast because they had consistent partners and stuff.
Yeah, I feel kind of the same way. Like I was 2780 in season 3 BFA and
Hmm.
like that's the highest I've been on my rogue. The highest I've ever been is on my paladin in Kata. So,
Yeah.
but I'm seeing like and I don't want to say lesser rogues than me cuz I'm not a great rogue in any like I'm just a rogue and you guys could call me a BFA assassination rogue and I wouldn't take offense to it because that's what I played. But I felt like I was seeing rogues that I figure like are my peers and they're 3K and I
Hmm.
stopped queuing in June after I got Glad. I got my Glad and I was like I'm not going to get rank 1 and so what's the point? And I wanted to start streaming, so I did like 6,000 games of twos from July to like the end of the season, just queuing
Mm-hmm.
twos, like trying to farm my stream, I guess. And I feel like I've missed out on the ability to be like, yeah, I'm not a 2900 rogue. I could be a 3K rogue. Like I feel like the exact same way that you
Yeah.
felt, but you actually pushed it. So like you'll always have that in your like in your pocket. Like you are that high XP.
Yeah, the thing is like I sat 2700 until like the last month and a half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I met like new players just from facing them in arena. They whispered me to queue. So I was like, and I didn't want to, but I was like, you know what, let me just give them a chance. And then we climbed to like almost 3K in one session. And then the next, like every time we queued, we went up like 150, 200 points or something like that. Like, and it was like, it was like so weird to me that I was like, I was frustrated the whole season that I couldn't push rating.
Mm-hmm.
And then like in the span of like 4 queue sessions, I went up to like 3,200. It was very surreal to me at the time.
Did you feel like you broke through like the because everyone knows there's like, you know, when you're 2300, you break through that ceiling to get to be a gladiator, and then you meet a whole bunch of new people. And then if you're a gladiator and you don't have 2700, you get memed on, right? And then if you're not rank 1, then you're trying, like, did you feel like you broke through that ceiling to hang out and queue with all the rank 1 players, and then dipping your toe into like the pro? Like your pool is so small of who you get to queue with, and they're so good. Like, do you feel like you're a part of that crew now?
I feel like I'm under it just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was queuing at like 3,300 MMR, I remember I was watching a stream as well, and like I remember people like I forget I think it was Gurecki. He was playing at like 3,500 MMR,
Mm-hmm.
and like I was just thinking to myself like how can, like, these guys are just on a different level, right? Like they're playing at a completely different bracket, and I'm like right at, I was, when I hit 3,250, it was like 3 weeks before the season, so I was like ranked like I think I was ranked 140 or like 138 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I wasn't bottom of the barrel rank 1. I was like mid-range rank 1 at the time. And then like I was just thinking like, how are these guys like on a whole different level? I feel like even though I crossed into like that threshold of like the top level, there was still like a higher level that it's just like completely better
I
players.
feel like the pro, like the true famous pro players are so much. It's not even the same. Like, it's gross. Like I queued in pre-patch. I queued into Idiot Feral and Snuts, and they literally killed me and my partner in the opener, like 1v1, like both of us. And it's like, what do you like? I know how to play at a high level, and they literally, like, it's like disgusting. Like I don't understand. They just, like, it's like they're playing chess and we're playing checkers. But like, do you have like aspirations to be in the AWC, or try to push for that, like tournaments, like for fun or for being like a pro player, I guess?
So I played in AWC with my friends. We just signed up just for fun.
Yeah.
And we went in there. This was last season. We went in there with like, we were playing Rogue Shadow Priest Disc, and that was like, if this was Shadowlands, we would have,
Yeah, you'd be pumping.
We could have taken the whole tournament, right?
Yeah.
But because it was like BFA season 4, we went in there like we were playing one of the worst comps we could. We were fighting like everybody playing with like gushing wounds, and like they were playing like their T1 comps, and it was like, even though we knew we weren't gonna get too far, we still had like a lot of fun. Just like, I think we won like 3 series and lost 1, something like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and it was really fun. Just being in that environment, it was like completely different.
But like, would you want to like not play with your friends, but like try to like take it like that much like more serious, playing like 8-9 hours a day, just learning how to arena with your team, like playing lots of alts, like raiding to get the best gear? Like, is that something that you want to try, or are you just like chill with like the way being really good.
Definitely, I'm not a fan of like I look at Waz and like his team, and like they're probably the best team in the world,
Hmm.
and like they play like every single day. They farm every form of content just to be at the highest level, and that doesn't really appeal to me. Like,
It's not even fun at that point, right? I guess.
yeah, at the end of the day, it's a game, right? Like, I'm playing this for fun, and like in season 4, I actually kind of lost that ideology until like after the season ended, because I was like very stressed, like that I needed to do all this and like get my rating, and like it was a lot of pressure. But like at the end of the day, it's just a game.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Like I feel that even with streaming, like when I'm say I want to like level an alt or I want to do a BG, like I feel like if I'm online like live streaming, I have to be doing twos with viewers. Like I feel obligated, not by like people in chat aren't telling me to, but I feel like I have to do it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I can imagine like being a pro player being like literally have to play WoW 10 hours a day every day. Like, what kind of life is that? Like, really?
Yeah, I mean, those people that are doing it for a living, like you might as well.
But the other thing is like WoW's like the one game where the prize money, you have to stream. You have to be sponsored by an
Yep.
org. Like it's not like League of Legends where the prize pool is like $7 million. You know what I mean? Like you're getting paid 100 grand to split between 3 people. Like that's not enough money to live on for a
Yeah,
year. So
you're definitely right. It's a very low amount, and it's been like that forever. It's never.
yeah, I don't really understand that. Like, and they botched that crowdfunding thing so bad with the
Yeah.
like the pets or whatever it was, the in-game shop. Like I think they lost like a lot of like good karma, I guess, with the player
Yeah.
base, because that was like actually like just like sweaty, like that was like greasy. They're like, oh yeah, we raised this much money, but since we capped it, we'll give you an extra 50 grand total. It's like, what? You guys are literally $1 billion company, and for winning BlizzCon you get $100,000. Like that's embarrassing.
It's Blizzard doing Blizzard things, man.
Do you have faith in Blizzard for Shadowlands? Like, what you've seen so far in a week? Like, are you like, okay, like the BFA, like they usually do one good expansion, one bad expansion. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
do you think that's what this is?
I,
I know it's so early.
the first thing that really made me hopeful for it was that they delayed the release. I feel
Yeah,
like that was a huge thing, because it's typical of Blizzard to like release something that's not finished, and then like
patch it.
everybody complains about it. Then they patch it too late, and then
Yeah,
by that time, like, they introduce something else that is the same.
yeah.
So I
So
feel like
yeah, I understand. Yeah, I fully agree. Like, I feel like I'll always play WoW. Like, just because I'm 28 years old. I've been playing the same character since I was 14 years old. Like there's no other game that I'll ever want to play like the way I want to play WoW. But I think it's totally like if I was coming into the game now, I don't know if I'd like it. Do you know what I
I
mean?
could see that. Yeah, I could definitely see that. There's a very high level of entry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even as like someone that has played the game, since like BC, like I still can't understand like what all this new stuff is. Like,
You're constantly
grant,
asking. You're constantly looking up Wowhead, Icy Veins, talking to like I'm talking to like rogues like Zark and things like I'm trying to ask people that know
yeah,
more than me, and I got people who are asking me, and I'm like, man, how can you possibly like? I get people in the chat like, I want to try Rogue for the first time ever. What should I do? And I'm like, I have no idea how to answer that like in one sentence.
I have a good answer for that. Is literally just watch the best players and watch what they do, and then try to like just if you can't figure out why they do it, just ask them. Because
Mm-hmm.
even in the beginning of the season, when I was still like a 2700 priest, like this was like before all, like this was like way before I was like, I was trying to improve in twos because I was pushing twos really high, and I was struggling with like Holy Priest Destro or like Resta Druid Destro. Like those two comps were so hard for me as Disc Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like I went into Mez chat and I was asking him like, oh, like what do you do in this situation? Because like after our whole CC chain's done, like the Holy Priest just casts one heal and he's full HP, and then he's like, oh, I play knock into Holy Priest, that way I can knock the heal when we have no CC. As soon as I did that, I went up like 300 rating, and I'm not exaggerating.
It's like one little tweak.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're god tier. Um, are you planning on like multi? I know you say you're a multi-classer. I mean, you're like, usually when someone says they're a multi-classer and they main a healer, that means they're playing like all the healers. But you're leveling a rogue. Like, do you have plans on busting out the paladin or trying to like play druid or shaman or something like that, or are you just kind of focused on like having a good time playing your ult?
So, like I said before, like I've always, like I used to main ret, so I was like I was a DPS main.
Yeah.
Before I touched any healers, I played ret, then rogue, and then like I tried out like a couple other DPS, and then I tried priest, and like for me, I enjoy playing priest, rogue, and then if Holy Pally's fun, then I'll try it. But like if it's just the same, like there's not too much to it to the point where I would enjoy playing it.
Have you played it with the holy power as holy?
Not yet, actually. I haven't tried it.
Like I logged on it and I just like I don't like holy power in general. Personally, I think it's like a really weird clunky stat that I don't know. I just like don't like even playing my paladin when I have it. But I mean, Word of Glory is like a lay on hands, so it feels like.
It feels like Word of Glory for Rets and Prot Paladins heals more than Holy Paladins. It's like
don't even talk about Prot.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
That's the thing. Like these classes that nobody plays, like Prot Paladin and Holy Priest, have so much utility.
It's disgusting. Even like Outlaw Rogue.
Yeah,
like all their like. Right, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was just saying like even though they're nobody plays those classes, like they still have so much. And then when someone does pick that up, like it's just cause for disaster.
Yeah. Well, like I was gonna say, the Outlaw Rogue toolkit, like PvP talents, is all like buffing your partners. You know what I mean? Like
that's cool.
Like it's all like like when you do this, your partner gets this buff, or when you do this, he there's a debuff on the target. Like, but I don't know. Sub's just way too strong to even consider playing anything else right now. And like personally, I play Rogue because I've played it for so long. I don't know if it's my favorite class to play. Like I'm the best at it, so that's what I play because I enjoy getting high rating and getting like cool stuff. But is Priest like your favorite class to play, or do you play it because you're the best at it?
I definitely throughout BFA I've always wanted to like main Priest, but I was like kind of forced to play Pally, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just because like Arm Pal was like a lot better for most of the seasons anyway.
Yeah.
Specifically like season 1, 2, and I feel like season 3 discs were actually like in a good spot.
I was gonna say disc, like season 4 definitely with Ineffable Truth. Like
yeah,
they're ridiculous. I can't believe they let that happen, but whatever.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, Ineffable is not even like the biggest issue. There were so many issues. Like there's like you can take something from like every single class in the game.
Yeah.
It's just there was so much going on in season 4.
Yeah, all right, go ahead.
I think Priest is definitely the most fun to me. Although there are times where like, I get burnt out playing it, or just like if I feel like I'm fighting a comp that like I can't do anything against really, like specifically like God comp or something where like all they have to do is just like get like a silence into Blink Sheep on me. If like if it's a map like Mugambala, I can't line anywhere, right? So if it's something like that, I don't enjoy it. But for the most part, I enjoy Priest the most.
Do you plan on like playing hard right from the start of the season, or are you gonna let it kind of like get a couple nerfs out, get a couple patches in, like take your time with the season, or are you going hard right away with your boys?
see, I always tell myself I'm gonna grind the very beginning of the season and play at the highest level, and then like something always comes up where I'll be like, oh, I can't play today, and then like I'm automatically behind, and that's
You're
what
done.
happened on launch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like last season, I remember I played with my friend Kev, and like we played twos, and like we are like one of the highest teams in twos, like right out on the first day, and that
Hmm.
felt pretty good.
What always happens to me is like season two was I was like coming off my first gladiator in a long time, and I was like, BFA season one, like I'm fucking sick, assassination rogue, and I went into it and I got like 2100 the first week, and
Hmm.
and then like this like liter and I was like we were pumping like we like I mean I'm not gonna lie we all were lucky we all got mallies like we were all just like one shotting people like, but then the second week came, and it felt like the pro players literally like just decided to queue, and every game we got was like teams that you see at BlizzCon, and it just like I'm not that good like 100%. I'm not good enough to play like against those players. Like we were getting like like Jamili or Chun Li or Sea main team, and you're just like, this is horrible. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the challenge and it's fun, but when it's the only teams you get, like I'd rather just wait a little bit.
I can agree with that. I mean, like when, for example, like if you queue twos and you're at like the highest level, like right off the bat, like you know you're gonna fight like Nesper or
Yeah,
someone.
or like pet kick over and over and over again.
Yeah, yeah. Like people that just grind from the start, like you're gonna fight them.
Double
And that,
trinket DK.
yeah, I feel like that's like the hardest thing about queuing on the first day. If you're like, especially if you're new to like that kind of scene,
Mm-hmm.
then it's very hard to hold your own versus that. But I mean,
Now, I know you stream,
mhm.
right? I've watched your stream a bit, and do you dabble in the viewer twos, or you just doing your gameplay mostly?
I think I've always done my gameplay, except like one time I tried to sell carries on stream for gold.
Yeah, I
But that
find
was
that's
like,
a horrible time when you try to do that on stream. Like people
yeah,
expect, like, oh, I want to buy 5 wins and they expect it to be 5 games. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's
yeah.
like, dude, you can't 1v2. It's not BC. Like you can't just run in there and like mace stun someone down and kill them. You know what I mean? Like,
Although, like surprisingly, Disc Priest last season was actually very good at carrying in twos. Like I remember, the highest I got. Some people were like, I got someone to 2400 from like 2300. I got a DK from 1900 to 2330 or something like that. I
wow.
remember. Yeah, it was actually good because I was like Disc Priest last season. I can't even deny like you could do so much damage.
Yeah.
Like all my like, especially if they're in voice with me, I just tell them, okay, do this right now, and then
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I just do all the damage, right?
You're basically a DPS, right? Like,
Yeah, a DPS that can like
yeah,
heal. It was pretty
insane
broken.
cooldowns. When I see like when I'm close to a kill, like in a twos carry, and I see Rapture go out, I just like hang my head. I'm like, fuck. Like there's like, like there's nothing I can do for at least 10 seconds. So,
Yeah,
um, we've had a lot of people, mainly your boys, and some of them were troll, but we've had a lot of people shooting questions. So I was wondering if the chat wanted to, just like at me, and I'll try to ask some questions we got. I'm not gonna ask like hilarious troll questions, so they got to be real. So let's open it up.
they've been waiting for this moment, dude.
Yeah, we got Deshaun, Daxo, and Cash have been hounding the chat for a couple questions, so we'll see what rolls in here. Who? Okay, I need to know on the level. Where is Mini on your if he's a like a one? Give me a 1 to 10 on Mini's gameplay. I need to ask that first because I know he's been messaging me literally all day about how fired up he is that
You
year.
want to expose me on stream?
Yeah, he's like I can't wait to watch. I can't believe I have to go to this like family thing. Like
Yeah,
he's
he
so
said
fired
that.
up. Yeah,
The thing is, like, Mini has a lot of potential, but like he gets triggered by the game because playing mage is very stressful, and I've
yeah.
experienced this. Like when you're fighting DHDK, man, like
It's a horrible time.
You try to go for a sheep with like 6 interrupts on their team. It's very awful.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, and I played with Mini a lot last season too. Like, but I remember like he was just not having fun with the game. So that's like the main reason that I couldn't play with him, is just because he was getting like very triggered from just the class designs. Like,
Yeah, that's fair. Deshaun's asking if we'll see some Connor Waylor teaming up in Shadowlands. I'm sure we'll get like some games with Mini in, right? Like,
yeah, if he doesn't ditch you again, that's for
yeah,
sure.
like we'll see. I'll have to change my name and not stream, and then maybe he'll queue. But we'll see.
Well,
I've been a victim of his rage. I've never had Mini rage on. Well, he's raged at me in messages about a pug healer.
it's like he doesn't rage a lot at all,
No,
actually.
and it's not like
But
scream rage. He's just like you can tell he's
yeah,
frustrated.
yeah, he's just like flustered because
Yeah.
the game is just so against him trying to get a sheep and stuff. But like, if like I have a very basic ideology of like mage rogue,
Hmm.
so I basically just tell him like, whenever he's like getting mad about something, like I'll just be like, okay, like all we need to do, I mind control one, you go DB sheep, and then the rogue kidneys,
Yeah.
and it's basically that. But then like there can be problems with like the lining up and the timing, but that's like the hardest part.
Cash wants to know if you could make a super team with any 4 players from any region, who would that team be? So I assume you're on. Are you on the team or not?
If I was on the team, oh god.
Yeah, we'll do with you
Well,
on the team and then you not on the team.
all right, so it'd be me, explicit, diabolical SP, and then who would be our third or our fourth? Oh man, shit, I don't even think we need a fourth man at that point.
Wow,
We'd pretty much just be
explicit
clapping.
rogue, man. I'm not gonna lie. I know you're in the chat and I shouldn't be saying this, but you fucking rock me every time I queue into you. It's embarrassing. Like mainly in twos, and I'm like nothing I can do.
Yeah, he's very slept on. I think
He's a freak.
I think if he didn't quit last season, he would have easily been 3,400 plus.
Yeah.
And like 3,400, that's like the level of like Zaryu, Peekaboo, and like all them. Like I feel like he's definitely up there.
Who do you think? What's the best RMP on NA? What do you think?
Ooh, let me think. As of like last season?
Yeah,
or-
last season. And I'm gonna say this before you answer, but does Stun God get extra points for playing sub all the time?
The thing is, like, yeah, I respect Stun God a lot, but like the thing is, people have like they act like sub is like extremely broken and bad at the same time. Like all you have to do against the sub rogue is just counter them by just playing 40 yards away from each other.
There's
Right?
nothing you can do. You just run around the middle of the map. Like
Yeah.
you can't slow anyone. You can't catch anyone. Like
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, especially he played a sub rogue in like a full verse meta.
mm-hmm.
Like I specifically remember watching him play like a 15-minute game versus that Thundercleave that plays like
Yeah.
and I hated fighting that Thundercleave just because they were so tanky. And I remember like that game was like 15 minutes. I don't remember if they won or not.
I can't remember either.
Yeah.
He plays sub so much differently than anyone else. Like he literally like only attacks during goes. It feels like, you know what I mean? Like he like I would see like he goes for his dance go, and then like he'll pillar. You know what I mean? Like I just wait for DRs. Like I didn't see like he plays kind of like the way Pika plays, where they just like wait. You know what I mean? Like and they're so patient. I think that's why it worked.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. But who's your best RMP?
The best RMP, I feel like for Fire RMP last season would be Oxygen's team. So that was like Oxygen, CMD, and
Yeah.
Aiden. I think those guys played like, they were even a tournament team as RMP. Like those guys played like the cleanest out of any RMP.
Wow.
I'm sure there's other RMPs that I just can't like remember off the top of my head, but
I just know every time I see Azario and Pika get together, like if they played all the time together, I think that would be like disgusting. Do you know what I mean? Like they're both like way up there as far as knowledge of how to beat you 1v1, and just translates into 2s and 3s. Like,
I feel like for them though, it's like they're more focused on like their streams rather than like
yeah,
very bad.
100%. Yeah.
Like they play like it seems like they're playing casually while they're entertaining their stream, whereas like other teams are like tournament teams are like actually pushing
Yeah.
to be the best. You know.
I think you got to watch out for the I guess the Golden Guardians now, but with like if RPS stays this good, do you think like I'm they could just like literally never lose. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's a scary comp.
I feel like even though it's so good right now, I feel like there's always going to be some comp that like will beat another comp. It's like it's pretty impossible for there to be a single comp in the game that doesn't have a counter.
True. Yeah.
I can't
What do you think
remember-
would counter RPS right now?
I can't remember if KFC was good into it. If it was good into it, then KFC would be pretty good into that.
TSG explicit says usually.
Yeah. A lot of cleaves actually are really good into RPS.
Yeah. Well, I always feel like maybe I was just playing with the wrong people, but I felt like when I was queuing RPS, like we were dying all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like we're like super close to dying all the time, and I wasn't playing with like bad players. Like they're both like 2700 plus 2800 XP playing RPS. It's just like you're always like screaming. Which is the opposite when you're playing RM Pal. You literally, I don't even like press any of my buttons until he's like, yeah, don't like I don't have sack. You know what I mean? You're like,
and I've played RPS and RP Pally, and like I know exactly what you mean. Where like the Shadow Priest will just take infinite damage
forever.
Yeah, and it really just comes down to like playing as a lone caster into like a melee cleave, like DK or Warrior DH. Like you can't do anything really. You have to win the game as fast as you can, and that's like the problem into that. So any like melee cleave, I feel like would be really good into RPS, because even and I've thought of this before, like during the season, like when you watch like a mage rogue into RPS and you're playing from the mage rogue perspective, you think like, oh, these guys are taking no damage and they're fine the whole game. Then you watch like the other perspective and they're panicking the whole time.
Yeah, they're so scared. Yeah,
Yeah,
because it takes it's one go. Like that's what's so scary about rogue mage, right? Like it's like you can literally get everything in one go.
Yeah,
and then it's just over like the next go.
Yeah, and like people don't understand that about like Shadow Priest Shaman teams. They just see the part where like, because a lot of like teams that don't have, like I said, how like some rogues have like a clear vision and some don't. Like the ones that have a clear vision will be able to like close the game out versus a comp like that. Like Shadow Priest DK last season was very hard for mage rogue, but like if you played good enough, you probably could snag a win. Whereas like a lot of other mage rogues were just struggling versus it, including me.
Yeah, Shadow Priest DK is just.
Oh man, I stay
nightmares.
Up
Okay, you didn't answer the four, the best four team that you could think of that.
A legit response. Okay.
Yeah, your all-star team.
For like what comp? Any comp or?
Yeah, you're picking like you have the ability to take anyone who plays the game and make your own comp, or make your own team.
What comp should I do? Because I feel like I don't want to pick RMP because like that team already exists pretty much. Like
yeah. Or do you pick someone that's like a multi-classer? Like, do you take like Snuts or something, and then just because he's like insane at a bunch of stuff, or do you take someone that like, that only plays one or two specs?
I definitely think the multi-classer would be better in that situation. I don't know if you remember like the BlizzCon that from Legion that Sea-Doo was in the finals.
Oh yeah.
They played like I don't even know how many different comps, man. Like they played like every single comp possible.
But I feel like as impressive as that is, I feel like sometimes it's you get in your own head. Do you know what I mean? And you pick something you want to counter comp so bad, but maybe you're like 15% worse at that class. Do you understand? And I don't know if the comp carries you that much. Because you see it in the tournament, they're like, well, he's gonna play Ellie, but he's not used to playing Ellie, but it's a counter comp, and then it's like, if you're not perfect at that level on everything, you get exposed like instantly, right? Like,
Yeah.
so
So,
it's a
so for
gamble.
I'll do it by like best of each role. So like
Okay.
the best, the best caster. That's kind of hard, I think. I mean, Snuts can play war.
He'll always be a warlock to me because I started watching, like, he got
Yeah,
in
me too.
BC. You know what I mean? I'm like, Snuts is the warlock. Like,
I think you need Snuts on that team. Like, if you're gonna, because he can just do it. He can play a rogue or a lock, which are two very important roles.
mm-hmm.
Like, I definitely think Snuts would be part of it. The healer. I'm a huge fan of Chas,
Okay.
but because Chas is one of those healers that can pick up like any healer and
Mm-hmm.
and play at the highest level.
Even though he gets trolled by his team every time they queue.
Yeah, Gurecki's really good.
I think he's slept on. And I know
Yeah.
that sounds weird to say. That's like saying, like, I don't know, Paul George is slept on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, he's obviously not slept on, but he's so good. Like, I don't know. I think he's insane. But
Explicit saying said I was the NA Chas.
maybe.
I think Gurecki for healer, if not Chas, and then so if Snuts is playing a warlock, I feel like Snuts could be the fourth just because he can fill in either role.
Okay.
So like for best melee, I think Waz like
Really?
Waz can play warrior, rogue, windwalker. The only thing he can't play is I think DK, right? Or I'm sure he could pick up DH. Like anyone can pick up.
Right.
Anyone can,
He when they won BlizzCon, he was like on the bench though, right?
I can't remember.
I think he was on the bench. Like,
Oh, they played Mage Lock, right, or something.
yeah. So
See, I feel like
he was in. He was in. Okay.
it was in.
For game winning game. Okay.
That's yeah. I feel like Waz, and then
He killed Blizzo on the bomb.
see my thing is I'm torn between choosing Snuts as the fourth or Swapsy because they both can play like.
Swapsy can't play anymore.
No, I know.
I know. I was just saying.
Yeah. We don't want to relive that.
Yeah.
My stomach was churning for a week after that, dude. I couldn't
Yeah.
sleep after that.
Raikou. But
Oh man, some people have called him racist gladiator Raikou, man.
that's like, I don't know. In this day and age, why you would ever.
Yeah. But
Swapsy's a
So-
good choice.
yeah, just from like a gameplay point of view, I would probably choose him or Snuts. They would fit into the same category. And then as a caster, I don't know of is there any like really anybody that plays like every caster like Shadow Priest, Mage, and Lock or Ellie? I feel like
What does Chan play? He's Lock
Chan-
Boomy?
does he play Boomy?
I thought he was Lock Boomy, but I might be smoking heroin. I don't know.
I feel like there's no specific or there's no like person that plays every caster in general.
Maro can play any caster. Explicit
Is that
says.
I've only seen him play Mage, so I don't
Yeah.
actually know. But I mean Mara is like on a completely different level from every
Yeah.
other caster.
I think EU is like kind of on a different level. If I'm being honest, like the top few teams in EU are like
Yeah, I agree.
they might not be the best individual players. Like you're naming Gurecki, Snuts. Like like I know Peekaboo does a multi-class, but he's almost in the he is to me he's the best rogue. Like it's between him and Waz, but like I think that Peekaboo is a better rogue like through and through personally.
And that's the thing. I feel like a lot of NA players sleep on how good EU players are. Like I personally, because I played EU private servers, like I always felt like EU teams were just so insanely good at the game. Like, and I remember I went on EU to play, just like to play with some of my friends from private server on retail, and I was queuing at like 1600 MMR, and like these people were like they were perfectly positioned, like they were line of sighting on the pillar, and like if you go on NA, like they're running in the middle of the map, like they don't know what's going on. That's the only thing that like I feel like.
Well, they also like I've noticed like the EU mentality. They're like, no, we'll try that. Let's try that. You know what I mean? Like, and on NA, it's like, no, you got to play these 3 comps, and if you don't play these 3 comps, you can't play the game.
Yep.
And it's like, you know, completely. EU shows up with like a comp that no one's ever seen before, and they're literally just like wiping the floor with like everyone. And it's like, okay, well, what the fuck? Like,
I just feel like the mid-range players on EU just generally play better with like positioning and like
yeah, definitely
awareness and stuff. Whereas like on NA, it's kind of like a lot of people just are doing max DPS and like, you know, like
they're kidneying just on cooldown.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but
no, I understand what you're saying fully. I mean, there's less people, right? Like on NA playing as far as arena, I think, and like it seems like there's a lot of really good players in EU, and then there's not that many good players on NA. Like there's like what, like when I say good players, I mean like pro. There's like what, 30 of them that all know each other and queue into each other and queue with each other. And in EU, it's like every time I watch there's a new team that's insane.
Yeah.
Or a different combination of team, and you're like, okay, like.
Explicit said, I think Chanimals, Maro, Waz, and Chas would be the best team. I actually agree with that. Because Chas can play like any healer.
Isn't that just their team?
Well, it's Waz and Chas, and then you just put Maro on that team, and then Chanimals. So it's like 2 of them are already on the same team. That's why that question's kind of hard, because like the people that I would choose are pretty much on the same team, right?
Yeah.
So like,
but synergy, right?
Yeah, I do think Chanimals would make like a good a warlock into Waz and Chaz.
I think it's crazy that Chan and sorry, someone said don't forget the Mize.
Oh,
he's like, as crazy as he is, and I've queued with him and into him a million times. He's insanely good at Holy Paladin. Like,
yeah,
he really is. And there's a reason why people keep playing with him. And it's not because he's a psycho on his stream. Like, he is a good player. And I don't know. But what I was going to say is, I think it's crazy that, like, we're arguing, like, not arguing, but, like, debating who the best NA warlock is, and they're both on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, how crazy is that you have, like, 2 of the best warlocks to ever play the game, and one of them's on the bench all the time.
Exactly. And I feel like that's something that's like, you kind of have to respect Chanimals for being that good at lock that he makes Snut sit on the bench.
Yeah, so it's like, no, I'll come up with the strats. Yeah.
Yeah. So. But for Crusader, I feel like people don't realize that, like, even though he's very crazy on his stream, like, they don't realize how, like, he just has like a personality. Like, he's very, like, his stream is just a very certain like niche that's like very funny. Just because
I want to know if he's like that.
I've heard that he's not like that on off stream.
Yeah, I want to know. He is like that off stream, because he would be like the world's greatest actor. Do you know what I mean?
He explicitly said he's like 70%.
Yeah, I feel like he's ramped it up since he's got more famous. Like when I used to watch him like a couple years ago, he would like call people bad and freak out and say everyone's horrible, but now he's like, you know, like, I don't know, dinosaur screaming into the mic for subs, and like,
oh man,
you know what I mean? Like, it's like it's almost like Asmongold. Like, I've got to play with Asmongold off stream in RBGs and stuff like that, and raiding, and you know, he's a totally different person than when he's on his stream. And when he's on his stream, it's like I can't even listen to him because he's so over the top ridiculous. So I'm hoping and I'm praying that the Mize is like that.
Dude, whenever I hear the mice screech, dude, and then he just does like this very faint, like,
yeah,
it's just so funny, man.
Yeah, I just love when he's like humming the Lord of the Rings theme song like all the time.
You know, it's very funny because I play with Explicit and Explicit played with him a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and like I'll just randomly start humming that, and then he'll be like, "Dude, can you stop?" Like he's getting like flashbacks of playing with him.
Yeah. Na 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 na. na. I love. Yeah.
Oh, and then the new one that he started doing, do 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 do.
Yeah.
He started doing that and like doing his dance and stuff. It was very funny.
I'm gonna try to get him on here. I'm not
Oh
gonna
man,
lie, but I think I gotta pay him. I'd have to pay him. You know what I mean? Like he's one of those people where, and like I don't know if it'd get like, like he might just say some things that get me banned. You know what I mean? But I think it'd be cool.
yeah, Ryan actually just had a great point. He said like the Mice is like the most polarizing streamer on Twitch because everybody does copy him, and that's true. Like Quappy when he's on stream, like he's doing the Mice impression the whole time, and like
It's
it's
true.
funny.
Yeah, I know people who are like, you know, I'm the whatever stro. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, the Quap.
yeah, co-op stro.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I do agree with that the Mize is like very. I think he's one of the best WoW streamers,
Mm-hmm. As far as
and
skill,
people,
yeah.
not even that, just like as an
As an
entertainer.
entertainer, yeah.
I
I
feel
mean,
like
yeah, he's on the line for sure. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you know, like people that don't play WoW, even like WoW Arena, like, and they're looking from the outside, they're like, oh, this guy's so dumb, or like they hate him, but then like the people that actually understand like what's going on, they find
yeah.
it so.
No, I just love when he's like calling like, you know, he's like calling Naj a horrible rogue, and
Oh,
he's calling Zaryu the worst mage he's ever seen, and it's like, okay, you know what I mean? Like I've queued with him, and I like stealth in the wrong side that he thinks, and he's like, yeah, you're the worst rogue I've ever played with in my life, and I'm
dude.
like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
The best is when he drops down consecration, and he says "Con's down for max dam," and he just dropped it like somewhere where
yeah,
nobody's on top of
no
it.
one touches it.
Yeah,
Or when he's like kill, 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 and the target's at like 95%.
yeah. It's like big damn, and he's throwing like a Crusader strike that does 1k damage.
Yeah, I love it, dude. Oh, we could talk about Crusader for hours. I mean, he's called me the worst rogue. I feel like it's a rite of passage if you queue with him.
Hey,
He doesn't call you the worst.
Oh me, man,
Yeah.
and all my friends.
Exactly. I remember. Okay, so he kicked me out of the group. It was me and Easy Freeze were queuing with him, and he called Easy Freeze a boosted mage lock, like mage, and he called me the worst rogue he's ever seen. And then he queued with Kev and Minnie.
Oh my god, I remember.
Yeah, dude, like 1 second after, and they queued into like a druid comp, and Kev couldn't connect to get a kidney, and he was like had like a 5-minute meltdown. Like I remember.
When I tell you that I was crying laughing at that, dude.
Uh,
It was something about just, you know, when you see your teammates playing with another healer and he just completely like shat on their lives. It was
Yeah.
so funny to me.
well, he plays such a weird. I've never played with a paladin that plays like that. Like he's so aggressive, and he's so. And if he's like, yeah, go druid right now, and then if you don't, he just won't play.
He's a very like involved healer.
Yeah.
Which is like a really big thing now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
For healers, because like back in the day, like you're just a heal bot. Like you.
No, when I got Gladiator and Cataclysm, I literally just stood there and healed at max range.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
And like I don't know, I prefer that honestly because I'm like a smooth brain, and I'd like to just sit back and bomb heal as well.
Yeah, I mean, even me, like that would be a lot more chill if I could play like that. But then at the same time, I do respect the skill cap to it, like that you have to.
Oh, 100%.
Look for offensive plays and stuff, and like you can actually impact the game.
Well, there's such little to separate as far as class, like identity and how to outplay, like with your abilities, that you have to outplay with like, you know, doing damage.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's a new thing. Like ever since like MOP, I would say like is when that started, where like damage just became like a kind of the meta.
Yeah. Well, even that, like I felt like as RM Pal, like obviously you have enough damage as rogue mage, like against any comp, but I felt like if the paladin wasn't judging with us, It felt like we couldn't land kills, or they would take way longer. And like,
Yeah.
and that's like, okay, so now a 2200 paladin has to know how to do that.
Yeah, I agree with that because like those judgments were hitting like 50 to 70 Ks. Like,
Oh, I wasn't even geared, and I was hitting 80k judges. Like what? Like
yeah,
it's ridiculous. Like
yeah, it was crazy because like that amount of damage like makes a difference in the game.
and my highest eviscerate crit is like 52k, or in Venom, sorry. Like
Yeah,
okay,
and Venom is very bad. I feel like
it's
it's
just
like I feel like yeah, Rogue hasn't been that kind of class where you do like big crits since like what Mop, I think.
yeah, maybe a little bit of WAD,
Maybe I didn't play WAD too much.
but yeah, we got all the heavy hitters in here right now. I want to say what up to Dr. Bub and 1DPS and Jess. I know Nerdy Jessica, you stub your toe. That is karma for not being here earlier. Appreciate you being here now. Is there any other questions, guys, before we wrap this up here? It's been an hour and 15 minutes. So if you guys got questions, shoot them now. And then, as you guys saw like an hour ago, my girlfriend brought me a delicious dinner that I've just been staring at. So
Oh man,
I'm trying not to be rude and eat it, but it's going to be ice cold. But that's fine.
is it chicken parm at least or what?
No, it's okay. So I'm a 5-year-old. As far as my palate goes, it's literally like McCain frozen fries. It's like I don't know if you guys have this in the States, but I'm Canadian, and we have this like brand of like it's called Pinties, and they're just like buffalo chicken bites. So that's what I'm rocking with a couple slices of cheese and a couple dill pickles. So I'm extremely fired up for that. Dr. Bub would ask if you had any like your best. Oh, we got 2 questions to sit down. Hold on. What's the hardest thing to learn as a healer that separates you from another healer, other than damage at this point? So I guess that's the same thing. Dr. Bob wants like general disc tips, and Bahamut wants to know like how you can separate yourself as a healer.
Yeah, I actually have a disc guide in my Discord channel. I can just
Perfect. Well, you can you'll send that to me, and then when I put the video up on YouTube, I'll definitely have the links to everything for you. Or you can put it in the chat right now.
I can throw it in the chat. I mean,
Yeah.
Just for Priest specifically, like that whole, it's like one of the text channels that has like a whole text document, basically telling you like every situation, kind of like and what kind of like stats you need and stuff like that. But as a general healer, it really is like being involved in the team play. Even at like 3200, I have like the same issue of like tunneling my frames and not realizing when I'm getting feared or sheeped, and then like it just ruins like everything because then I'm putting the team behind because I'm not aware, and like that's the main thing for a healer.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like I noticed like like positioning and being able to keep everyone alive but also not focus like your line of sight, like, and I mean your actual eyes, like line of sight directly on your party frames. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like being able to see what the other team is doing on S Arena or Gladius, whatever you use, is like the biggest thing, having that whole game awareness. And when a healer is able to, like, this is coming from a DPS perspective, but when a healer is telling me that I'm fine and that, don't cloak, don't evasion, I got you, and he's calling my cooldowns, maybe it's hand holding, maybe that's what you want to call it, but I'm so much better for that because then I'm not overlapping like a PS with an evasion. You know what I mean? Like,
and I like playing like that. I think it's very good.
I think all the best healers play it like that for the most part.
Yeah, because it's communication, and like you said, like you don't overlap cooldowns with your teammates.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to mention like general tips is like if you want to really get good at the game, especially as a healer, like you need to put your ego aside. Like don't care about rating. Just play the game as much as you can. Like Ferric said, put in 15,000 games in a season, you'll get rank 1. And like don't care about losing. Play with anybody you possibly can, because my biggest regret about season 4 was that I only played with 2 people, and then when they couldn't play anymore, I was pretty screwed. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's my biggest thing is like,
I've been in that problem as well. You like got your boys, and you're like, no, we're pushing together. Like we have an arena team like back in the day, and then one of them quits, and you're like, okay, well now I don't know anyone.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like if I didn't find those guys like the last month of the season, I would have still been like 2,800 experience. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's how crazy it can be. Like if you just find the right teammates and you just play enough,
100%.
I think that's the main thing. If you're trying to improve, is just play as much as you can.
Well, all right. I think that's pretty good. It's our longest episode we've actually done, I think. So
Shit.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. Easy backed out, or not backed out, but he had something come up at the last. You got more questions, or Dax? So you can ask one more question. That's it. But yeah, I was just gonna say Easy backed out. So I'm sweating still, like I'm nervous because I've never done this. Waylor and I haven't been in a call in a long time together, so I'm flying solo. Why are you asking all them questions?
Oh man.
If you want to like whether what's your Twitch, what's your YouTube, you can say it out loud, and I'll also put it in the links in all the descriptions for YouTube and stuff like that. So where can people find you?
Twitch.tv/Waylor Gaming, Twitch.tv/Waylor Gaming, Twitch.tv/Waylor Gaming. If you want to find me on YouTube, just look up Waylor1. I think it's like Multiglad Priest or something like that, and you'll find my video. I don't really post on YouTube that much, but sometimes I do. I'm going to start getting into streaming, so I think if you want to find me on Twitch. And then I linked my Discord if anyone wants the Priest guide that's in there.
Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely put that in the description, and we got lots of priests in our chat, especially because I play a lot like twos, so it's a lot of disc rogue, and we got lots of priests who watch, so I'll definitely send them your way, and for your stream and for your Discord. So I want to thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, bro.
It was really cool actually when I posted, like when I linked that video Stun Gods in all the Discords, and you actually like took the time. You're like, bro, this is actually sick, because you're one of the only people, or the first people, that actually messaged me back being like, yo, this is actually like a good idea, like keep doing what you're doing, because some videos like the Metaphors one got 1,500 views, which is crazy, and then like the Ferrex one has 80 views, you know what I mean, and the Stun God one has the same amount. So it's like, if you guys like this, please tell your friends about it. Please, you don't have to share it. I'm not asking you guys to, do the work for me, but if you want to be on the show, let me know, because it's fun. Like Waylor, we just chilled for an hour and a half, right? Like pretty low key.
I remember when I was watching it, like I was enjoying it, man. And I watched the first one, and then the next day I watched the Ferrex one, and then the Metaphors one.
Mm-hmm.
And like I liked them all, like, and this was fun.
Yeah. Ask him if he will put cash in Waylor too.
Oh, you already know, man. I have the clip. I gripped his bomb. I'm gonna put it in the video. You already know. And then 10 seconds later, he randomly saps me when I dropped combat. So I guess he'll put that in Cash Money 1. So.
So messed up. All right, well, I'd like to thank you for coming on. I'd like to thank your crew for being so lively in the chat. I'm not gonna lie, that was like super fun. I hope you guys, when Waylor isn't streaming, you guys come back and chill with me once in a while. That'd be sick. That was a lot of I'm on Alliance now. I'm gonna have characters on both. So if you guys want a kidney brain dead rogue, I'm your guy. So, anyways,
keep up the good work. I really appreciated you letting me on.
Yeah, no problem, dude. Thanks for coming.
Oh yeah.
Have a good one.
All right, man. Good night.
See ya. All right, boys. That was a long video. Thank you everyone for watching. Before I turn off the YouTube or the recording, I'm gonna say please like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys haven't already subscribed on YouTube and seen all the other videos, please do. That was a lot of fun. I really appreciate you guys all coming in, watching for the whole time. We were like over 30 viewers for a while there, so thank you very much.